Now, joining us to discuss the security situation during the protests is security expert Melvin Ejeh, the Executive Director, Global Peace and Life Rescue Initiative. Good morning, Melvin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me to Central.
All right. In the course of these conversations, one thing we've heard a few times is that the protests have been hijacked. Is that the same thing that you see from your interpretation of what's has happened in Kaduna and in Plateau State and in Kano State? Do you see a hijacking of the protest by persons who want to cause, bad governance or cause, anarchy rather? Or is it simply just, many people just going wild and going overboard with what the protest was meant to be about?
Let me first and foremost commend the Nigerian military, Nigerian forces, Nigerian police force for their dexterity, for their steadfastness, and for their adherence to professionalism in dealing with this hijack protest. I call it hijack protest because the actual intention of the protesters have been defeated by these criminals who infiltrated their ranks and are causing mayhem in Nigeria. This is not what the protester meant. This is not what they intend to do. However, that is why some of us have greatly advocated for this, for non-protest, because this is what you will get in a society where people are practically hungry. I want to categorically let you know that the protest has been hijacked by criminals, it has been hijacked by hoodlums who want to take advantage of this current situation. And until something is done drastically, we may have anarchy. We have anarchy in our hands. At a situation whereby people are beginning to fly Russian flags, people are beginning to call for military cover is unacceptable. We are in a sovereign country, and I think we have sufficient resources to deal with our issues instead of flying foreign flags. So, go back to your question. The protests have been hijacked by criminals, and I agree 100% with the federal government. But
whose responsibility should it be?
This is not unexpected.
Yeah. Whose responsibility should it be to prevent a protest from being hijacked by criminals, like you've said?
I think it's not the duty of security agencies completely, because they can't be everywhere. You must admit this fact that security agencies can be everywhere. Why not trying to brief for them? We have less than 3 million security agencies all put together in this country, and we have more than 120 million Nigerian youth who signify interest for this protest. So they can't be at every point in time. So I think the organizers of this protest ought to have sat down to dialogue with government. They ought to have come out with very clear issues, articulate their point to ensure that something is done rather than going to the street. Once you get to the street in Nigeria, you can't prevent these things from happening.
Yeah, but what you're saying, my apologies for jumping in, what you're saying is that because of the inadequacy of the Nigerian government to beef up its security agencies, to ensure that we have adequate policing in every way, shape, and form, because the Nigerian government has failed in that regard for decades after decades, with billions and billions and billions of naira being budgeted for security every year. Even after they have failed, protesters now should then decide that, well, we don't have enough police force, and so we should instead continue to dialogue, even if it is their constitutionally guaranteed right to protest.
You see, I want to let me differ with you a little bit. The problem that the protesters took to the street today was not caused by Asiwaju's government. Well, I'm not trying to hold brief for the government. Yes, the president removed subsidy. He removed some level of subsidy, and this is in a bid to sanitize this country. The problem of inadequacy of security agency didn't start from him, just like you admitted rightly. Several funds were invested in our security agency that didn't work. So this man is just barely. I think it's.
Yeah, but that's not the point. It's a different conversation arguing whether his policies started it or not.
I'm actually taking you there. Now, there are rooms for dialogue. We should dialogue at every point in time. Why we must admit that it is the right of the protester to always protest if they have grievances, but they must do that within the ambit of the law. The Nigerian constitution is very clear. Where your rights stop, that's where someone else will start. The people you are hurting, the people you are killing, the people you are maiming, the people you are vandalizing their property are also suffering from the same economic hardship. So what sense does it make to begin to vandalize property? So for me, I would advocate for continuous dialogue. It is not late yet. We should come to a drawing table, articulate these points, and see what government can do. We know that government over time have been very responsible. I must admit that fact. And people are truly hungry, no doubt. The youth are hungry. The country is actually very, very in a turbulent stage. But I think this anarchy is not the sure way to go.
All right, Melvin Ejeh, thank you very much for stopping by. We, of course, enjoy speaking with you. Please join us again.
Thank you very much.
All right.